Hey kiddos, it's Mr. Cubbage. We're going to be looking at slope again. On part 1 of the video, I talked about Mr. Slope Man and how you have positive, negative, undefined, and zero slopes. You can, if you draw that down, it'll help you out a lot. We talked about how to find slope. It's rise over run, how many you go up and how many you go over. Keep in mind whether the line's positive, negative, undefined, or perhaps flat like a zero. We also reviewed how to find slope given 2 points. There's a formula y squared minus y1 divided by x squared minus x1. Doesn't matter which coordinate you set as your x1, y1, you just have to keep it consistent. If this is x1, this has to be y1. It can't be x1 and then y2. And sometimes you have a table. Sometimes it's not in point format. Sometimes you have a table. And in that case, you just pick 2 of the points on the table and put them into that formula. If you get a 0 on top of the fraction bar, then the slope is 0. If you get a 0 underneath a fraction bar, then it's undefined. So again, under is undefined, on top it's just a 0. Now on the back, we talked about point-slope formula, and that if you're given 2 points, you plug it into your formula to find the slope, then you take one of your points and you put it in the point-slope formula. M represents slope. Okay? Sometimes your question says something has a slope of like -2, but it passes through the origin. They're giving you a point, but you don't know it if you're like reading it too quick. The origin is 0, 0. Last, how do you find the equation of a line given a table? So that's where we left off, and we first found the slope by selecting any 2 points on the table. It's up to you. And then taking one of those points and the slope that you got and put it in the point-slope formula. Any point that you use is still going to give you that line in that point-slope formula. So number 10, I'm going to select 2 points. I'm going to pick 0, 0 and 2, 6, okay? So let me use this formula over here. Y, okay, this is 2, 6, and that's 0, 0. So y2, so I'm going to say 6 minus 0 divided by 2 minus 0 is 6 over 2, which ends up being 3. So my slope is 3. And again, remember that's your slope. Okay. So now I'm going to take a point. I'm going to use 0, 0 because that's an easy point. I love 0, 0 as a point. So y minus 0 equals 3 times x minus 0. Y minus 0 is just y. And of course you distribute. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 0 is 0. I don't have to write plus 0. That just means the point goes through the origin. That's your y-intercept is 0. And that's your line. Your slope is 3. Your y-intercept is 0. Then you have to translate. Sometimes you have a line that is written in what they call standard form, ax plus by equals c, where a would be a number, b would be a number, and c would be a number. So it could be 2x plus 3y equals -5. But you have to put it in slope-intercept form, meaning you have the slope and the y-intercept. Y equals mx, m stands for slope, plus b. Okay, plus b. B is your y-intercept. That's where it crosses the y-axis. And m is your slope. Okay, and it's basically solving an equation. You're solving for y. Okay, so you solve for y. Let's go ahead and do that. X minus 2y equals -8. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that x, okay? It's a positive, so I have to do the opposite, minus x on both sides. And I'm left with -x minus 8. I put the -x in front, keep the sign of the 8, put it in the back. Now, I did it on purpose, but I didn't drop that negative sign down there because this is what a lot of kids will start working with. They'll forget that minus sign, that negative sign, goes with that too. The sign is in front of the number. You have to bring it down as well. Okay. Now, to get rid of the negative 2 that's being multiplied by the y, we divide it. That cancels out. Divide each thing by negative 2. We get y equals, okay, negative x divided by negative 2. So it's like negative 1, okay, so negative 1 divided by negative 2. When you divide negatives, it's positive. 1/2 x. Negative 8 divided by negative 2 is a positive 4. Okay, because two negatives divided by each other make a positive. So your slope is 1/2, and your y-intercept is 4. Go ahead and label that. I want to see who's watching the videos. Okay. Number 15. We have 3x plus 2y equals 12. Okay. And we're solving for y, so we've got to get rid of the 3x first. Bring down the 2y. We have negative 3x. And then it's plus 12 because the 12 is positive. Okay. Now we're going to divide by 2. To every number that we see, those cancel out. You have y equals negative 3/2 x plus 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, on this one, write down your favorite superhero. I want to see who is watching the video. So your favorite superhero. Okay? Then number 16. We have negative 5y equals 25 plus 3y. And in this case, that negative 5 is being multiplied by the y. So to undo it, we have to divide by negative 5. Get a different pen. Divide each number by negative 5. Okay? And y equals 25 divided by negative 5 is negative 5 minus 3/5 y. X. This should be an x, kids. I'm really losing it. Make that a little x. Okay? See? Look at an x. And in this situation, it's not in slope needs to be first, so we've got to rearrange a little bit. So my slope is negative 3/5 x, and my y-intercept is a negative 5, so minus 5. Okay. Put a little star right there. Okay. Anyways, now that you have finished part 2, I want you to go online to Power Test and take the test that is called Cubbage Slope. You're looking to get above an 80%. Take care, kids.